Okay, we're gonna try this again. Hi, welcome to my channel. My name is Susanna. I'm super awkward behind the camera because I'm still kind of figuring everything out. This is only my second video ever, but it's something I've always wanted to do, so I figured might as well, give it a shot and see if anybody's interested in anything I have to say and see if we can, I can find some friends. So today I'm going to be talking about the Nexplanon, kind of the symptoms. This is the second time I've had it. I just got it removed literally like 2 hours ago. So the first time I got it in, 2014, I think late 2014, had it in, no problems for like the first month. After that, I bled nonstop for 3 months, and it sucked. And I got it in at Planned Parenthood, which I would not recommend. I would recommend going to your doctor, just because at Planned Parenthood they kind of just stick it in and say, here, have fun, They don't really help you along with the process, like walk you through the process or anything. In my experience, this is just my experience. So I got it in, bled for 3 months. I was really concerned, and so I called, like the nurse's hotline, and this is why I would say, probably don't go to Planned Parenthood, because the nurse they gave me, she was like, if you're gonna be active, if you know what I mean, wink wink, we all know what I mean. She's like, if you're gonna be active, just take some ibuprofen, that'll slow the bleeding down enough to be able to do whatever you feel like doing. To me, that was kind of stupid, because I wasn't worried about that. I was worried about bleeding like a full-blown period for 3 months straight, and that sucked. Like, it would kind of ease off for a couple days, but then it'd just come back full force. Like, it was not a pretty picture. And then so the first time I had it in, I wasn't in love with it. I just kind of kept it in just because I couldn't rely on myself to take the pill. I can't remember to take my medication, and so even daily vitamins, what's that kind of thing. So anyhow, had it in for 2 years. After that 3 months, I would kind of have a pause, and then I kind of had a regular cycle, if I remember correctly. The main thing I remember after that initial probably 6 months of the weirdness was whenever I was active, doing fun stuff, I would start bleeding, midway through, or at the end, he would notice stuff. I know, TMI, but it's worth mentioning. And when it's kind of towards the end of your cycle, or sometimes I do this with just spotting, where it's kind of brown and crusty, not cute. That's how it was. And then I would have a regular cycle after that. The stimulation would almost get it started. I don't know, super weird. That was just my experience. So long story short, I ended up taking it out. I was just like, this is dumb. I don't like this anymore. Took it out in May of 2017. Was on the pill. Thank goodness I didn't get pregnant, because I was not doing it right. I had no idea that you had to take the pill at the exact same time every day. No clue. She might have mentioned it and it just went over my head. But I didn't know that, and I should have been taking it. But he wasn't using protection. We were just pull out method. Thank goodness nothing happened. I didn't really want to risk it anymore on the pill, because I knew I couldn't trust myself. I kept forgetting to take it, and it was just a whole thing. Plus, my body was detoxing from this. I don't know if that's even a thing. It could have been in my head, but I felt like I was kind of my emotions were all over the place when I took it out. And I was like, you know what? Even if the side effects that I had are going to come back, it's worth it just to make sure I'm protected, to kind of smooth out my hormones, all that sort of thing. So I went ahead and put it in December of 2017. The second time having it in was way different. So the first time, like I said, I had all those complications. The second time, honestly, pretty smooth sailing. I think I had one cycle, and then I think I went almost a year with nothing. For the first 2 years, I had maybe 4 cycles, 4 periods. I keep wanting to say cycle because I don't I don't like the word period. They need to find a better word for it. It just makes me think of like the dot at the end of the sentence. I don't know. Beside the point. I get off on tangents a lot, in case you didn't know. If that really makes you crazy, I'm sorry. I'll try to do better. Anyhow, so honestly, pretty smooth sailing. This past year, from like last December to this December, you know, that's my 3-year window or whatever. The last year of it, I had more regular periods. Honestly, I kind of feel like it was kind of like working, either my hormones were getting used to it and leveling it out, or this is what I'm hoping, is that it wasn't as strong anymore, and my body was more or less going back to normal. The reason I hope that is so that now that I have it out, hopefully I don't have those mood swings and like hormone craziness that I had before. So could be all in my head, but that's what I'm going to tell myself, is that my body was just kind of like, or the Nexplanon itself was kind of like less potent. I don't know. That's what I tell myself. I have no evidence to back that up. I'm just hoping my hormones aren't going to go all out of whack this time. Taking it out. The first time I had it out, I didn't love the experience. I had like a PAP at the same time, so it was just like all up and everywhere, and it was not fun. Honestly, PAPs aren't that bad. Like, pap smears, not bad at all. They're a little bit uncomfortable, mostly because the metal part that they stick in is freaking cold. So imagine getting something real cold stuck up there. It's not comfortable. It makes you kind of like tighten up, and that's not what you need to do. So you just have to like relax and look at like the dumb picture that they put on the ceiling and just pretend you're in that beautiful meadow or whatever. As far as taking the Nexplanon out, the first time I didn't like it because she was like really poking around in there, and it wasn't painful at all. But it's one of those things that it's like, it's right here, so it's on like a weird part. Like, even if you just touch your arm right there, it feels weird. Like, I don't like that sensation. Maybe it's just me. But she wasn't just touching it, you know, she was poking around, digging around in there, and I just wanted to like bat her hand away, you know, like that sensation. Obviously, I didn't do it, but it was like that feeling. It wasn't painful, I just didn't like it very much. And so this morning when I went and got mine out, I kind of had that in my head, but I didn't want to say it because I didn't, not that I would make her nervous, but I didn't want her to feel like that extra level of pressure, because she also had a PA resident with her, and so she was like trying to explain to her. So I'm like, I trust her. Like, the girl I've got now, different doctor. The doctor I have, I shouldn't call her a girl, that's disrespectful. The doctor I have now is really cool. I really like her. She's like super laid back, like really like a cool person, and so like it makes me more at ease with her. And she's been doing this for a long time, so I trusted her. And sure enough, like, she numbed me up, she kind of like massages the area to like get the medication. I'm sure that's the correct term. All dispersed through your arm and make sure it's good and numb and stuff, and then she'll kind of like poke you. I think she did it with a scalpel. Side note, I don't get grossed out, so if like scalpels, needles, and stuff like that really gross you out, I'm sorry, I don't have a filter. I will do my best to like not say those words too much, but anyhow, she did kind of like poke it, and she's like, can you feel that? I was like, yeah, I can feel it. So she's like, okay, and injected just a little bit more of the numbing solution, whatever it is. And I wish I could have filmed it, but I felt weird like asking if I can video this. I didn't even want to look. Like I said, I can disassociate it if it's somebody else, but if it's me where I'm kind of feeling and I'm seeing, I'm like, no, I'll pass. Even though you can't feel anything, you can feel like the pressure and like tugging and stuff like that. So anyhow, she comes back a couple minutes later and she like pokes it again, and she's like, can you feel that? And I'm like, I think I can, but I also think it's in my head. You know, when you know it's coming, so you're like, oh, I can feel it. So I'm like, just relax. You trust her. She knows what she's doing. So I was like, go ahead. I'll let you know if it hurts. So sure enough, she pokes a little bit, nothing. She's like, okay, you're good. You're numbed up. One thing I will say is it does take them a second to find it. Now, this could have been me being really stupid because it's the second time I've had it, so I should have known this before. But they call it a rod, and they say it's the size of a matchstick, right? In my head, I'm thinking it's really stiff. Like, I know it wasn't like a matchstick, like that stiff, like a piece of wood in there, but I was expecting it to be pretty stiff. It's not. It's like super bendy. Like a, you know, a hair tie, the rubber piece in the middle of it, and like one of those cheap hair ties. It's like that. It's like super bendy. Like, I don't know if it's stretchy. She didn't like stretch it, but like really flexible, like silicone-y. Because of that, when they make their little hole and they try and pull it out, it bends away from them, like it wiggles away from them. And I didn't realize that, which is probably why I got more frustrated the first time. Like, it's just a rod, just grab it and pull it out, you know. But it is really bendy, and like it's been in there for a while, and so it's kind of like stuck to you, like your body has accepted it, and kind of like your tissue's kind of gone around it. And it wasn't stuck, like she was able to slide it out just fine, but she said there was a little bit of fibrous tissue on the very end. That made it a little tricky. She didn't want to just yank it out, obviously, which I appreciate. So if you're getting your Nexplanon removed and it does take a minute, that's probably why. Because they're trying to just get in there and get it, but it's wiggling away from them. That sounds so gross. But it made me feel a little bit better knowing that they weren't just incompetent. I don't want to say that because obviously I know they're not incompetent. They went to school for how many years they know what they're doing. But it made me feel a little bit better. Yeah, so anyhow, that's pretty much that. My experience, would I get it again? You know, when I was leaving, sorry, my eye is like, I'm really tired. I had to get up earlier than I'm used to. I think I would get it again just because it's effective. Like, we were, how do I say this? We were actively trying. Everything you do when you're actively trying, that's how we've been for the past 3 years. Zero protection, zero precautions, and never once even had a scare. Like, there'd be a couple times that I'm like, oh yeah, I'm like 3 weeks late, but I mean, it happens when you have your Nexplanon in. My recommendation is to, sorry, my eye, get like the really cheap like Amazon pregnancy tests and have like a certain day that you test every month. So my cycle is usually like mid to end of the month, and I usually test at the beginning of the month. Obviously that's when I would be like the beginning of my fertile window, but still, it's that way I just know I've tested that month, we're good to go, so that way if I am drinking, I know I'm not like 3 months pregnant, don't even know about it. Buster, can you stop please? Sorry. Anyhow, I'm not crying, I swear. I just like, I think I got an eyelash in my eye and it's really bugging me. So yeah, super effective. I didn't notice any weight gain. In fact, the first time I got it, I lost probably 20 pounds, but I don't think it was associated. I moved during that time and got like a super physical job where I was working like, I was a CNA working like the swing shift, so it was like 2 to 10:30, and I was just like running up and down stairs, like pushing wheelchairs, hauling patients everywhere, like that sort of, not patients, they were residents, I worked in a senior home. But because of that, you don't really get much time to eat, and you're just like go, go, go. So on your lunch break, you're not super hungry, if that makes sense. So I just dropped like 20 pounds like nobody's business, didn't even try. Super frustrated that it's not that easy for like, you know, when you're actually trying to try. So I didn't notice any weight gain. Same thing with the second time. I actually got into shape like not long after getting it the second time. I lost weight again, but again, wasn't correlated. I was intentionally like watching what I was eating. I was working out really regularly. I got super toned for a while, and I miss it. I know I say that like every time I come on here. I'm like, I want to be toned. Like, you got to put in the work to do it. Anyhow, sorry about my appearance. I kind of got up and slapped on some mascara, did my eyebrows, and ran out the door. Let's see. So yes, I would get it again. I have notes because I can't keep a thought in my head to save my life. I swear I'm blonde naturally. This is more like my natural color, but yeah, nobody cares. Symptoms, taking it out. Yeah, I think I covered everything. If anybody has any major questions that I missed, just let me know and I'll for sure answer them. Like I said, this is the only only the I need help. Send help. This is only the second video I've ever made. Clearly I'm a professional. So I don't really know what I'm doing. So I probably missed something. But on the bright side, if somebody does stumble across this question or this video and has questions, I'm happy to answer based off my experience. I am no professional or anything like that. So yeah, getting it in, super easy, not painful at all, like no problem. Getting it out, not painful at all. Like I said, it's just a little bit uncomfortable, and when I say uncomfortable, it's just like I don't like people touching that area. Like I'm really sensitive, like I'm super ticklish, like my skin's just really sensitive, so it might be more me than, like it might be more pronounced with me than with other people, but something to think about. But if you are getting it in, just know you don't have to worry about that for the next 3 years. The reason I'm taking it out, I should say, I'm not going on to a different birth control. I'm trying to get pregnant eventually. We're not going to be like actively trying probably right away. I just kind of want to see what my hormones are doing. And I don't know a whole lot about birth control and how it affects your hormones and all that sort of thing. Like I said, I just know last time I had it out, I felt like I really went through a roller coaster for a few months, but it could have been not even related to this. I had a lot of other things going on. We moved, we were getting married, like there were a lot of other things happening, so it was probably more to do with that. But I did notice a correlation, thought I'd mention it. I think I'll just leave this out and we'll just kind of be careful. I'll probably do like the tracking. I kind of want to get into like the ovulation tracking and stuff. I have like the app on my phone that tracks your cycles because I can't remember when mine is because they aren't super consistent or haven't been super consistent. So yeah, I totally lost my train of thought there. My goodness, I need help. This is ridiculous. Oh yeah, so I think I'll leave it out for a little while. Obviously, probably a long while if we're gonna get pregnant. I'm not gonna have it in while I'm pregnant. But why do I say pregnant so weird? I'm spiraling. I should go. If anybody has any questions, let me know. I will for sure answer it, or like maybe point you in the right direction or give you like my opinion or whatever. Not a professional, but I have 0 people who have watched my videos and I have nobody else to talk to, so it's not like I'm gonna be bombarded with 500 people. So I will for sure get back to you. That was a long-winded way of saying, have any questions, let me know. I got you. Alright, I will talk to you all later. Hope this was remotely helpful and have a good one. Bye.